And welcome back on your Sunday morning, 7:15 here. We're getting ready for just a classic summertime July day here on the Gulf Coast. It's going to be a hot one. We'll be back in the 90s. We actually got up to 94 yesterday. Today, maybe a degree or two cooler, but still hot. And notice hit or miss storms. So you may get a storm, you may not. And it's really that simple that this time of year when you're forecasting. When I came in this morning, I looked up at tower cam and said, oh my gosh, how neat. You could see some tall storms off in the distance here as the sun came up overlooking the city. And you can see the tall, towering cumulus clouds there. We call these cumulonimbus clouds. And as the sun came up, they lost some of their color, but they're still pretty tall. And you may be wondering, well, where are these storms? They're actually about 100 miles away from the camera site, which sets in Tarrytown on the west bank. And it was looking across the lake here up towards these storms that are sitting just towards the west of Macomb. They've been pretty persistent up there all morning long. So if you are just west of Macomb, you've had some storms this morning, but if you're here in New Orleans and you've seen those tall clouds, that's where they're at. They're pretty far away. They are tall. They obviously have to be very tall to see them. Earlier, when they were stronger, they were sitting about 40 to 50,000 feet up in the atmosphere. Now they're starting to weaken some, but they're still sitting at about 30,000 feet. So if you're ever flying in a plane and they say we're going to fly around the storms, that's why, because they're up where you're flying. Elsewhere, radar is active down along the coast. We've got a few downpours down in lower Lafourche along LA1 from Port Fourche on to Grand Isle. There's a little shower. There's a little shower there in parts of the bay there. There's another little shower by Cutoff, and there's some down towards St. Mary and Terrebonne Parishes coast, and then into Vermilion Bay and Marsh Island. At least that's where the more heavy rain is, but really most of us are doing okay this morning. We will see some spotty storms today, and look at this. Copy paste forecast all the way into the work week. So we aren't going to see really any big changes in the forecast. Now, one day you may get a downpour, one day you might not. That's just how it goes when you're in a summertime pattern down here. It is going to get a little hotter this week. I do have us in the mid 90s. It will feel like the 100s every single day. So here we go. We are just stuck in our summer weather. Good news is to report out in the tropics. Hurricane season still we'll say quiet for now. It looks like it's going to stay quiet probably for the next week to 10 days or so. Beyond that, I think things will start to wake back up, but still a lot of Saharan dust out there. There's a lot of wind shear, and overall it looks pretty quiet. So far, we've had 3 named storms, and I wanted to compare this to last year at this time. Last year at this time, we had 5 storms, 1 hurricane, and here's our season forecast. We're still forecasting about 20 named storms, 10 hurricanes, and 5 major hurricanes. So if we're ever going to get to these numbers, we got a long way to go, but we do have the majority of hurricane season still ahead of us. I know we're a month and a half in now, but when you look at where the storms usually form, it's not until August, September. So we still have over like 94% of hurricane season left of us when you look at the cumulative amount of storms that we have seen. So really from August through September is when we're really keeping an eye on things. But as you know, we've had a major hurricane on the last couple of days of October. Remember Zeta in 2020. So nothing to worry about out there right now, but it's never too early to be prepared for hurricane season. We're just staying hot and humid. Temperatures in the 90s with hit or miss showers and storms.